Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joanne. I am the learner lawyer. That means that I am a law student. I'm a first year law student, so I'm only a baby in the far as the law knowledge goes. I'm on a quick learning curve. Anyway, we need to follow up on Melissa Caddick. So we know that her husband filed some documentation to prevent the court from selling the property. He said he had an interest. Now, there was a decision today, but there were some documents that became available today. So let's look at the documents first and then look at the news articles, because he's going to have to leave the house. The court has ruled in favor of selling the house. I'm not sure about the parents. I think the parents have... so let's just see. So this is a concise filing. So this is concise response. So this is a response. Okay, having received and read paragraphs filed on behalf of the court receivers. Okay, filed on behalf of. This has been filed on behalf of the receivers, the people who want to sell the houses. Okay. Having received the paragraphs 1, 2, and 3 of the concise statement, filed on behalf. Oops. I'm doing really good here. See, I don't do things for a few days and I forget. Except that any dispute raised either by the court receiver or individual investors to the ongoing occupation of the property at address of Hedgecliff, the property, or to the proprietary claim made by Barbara and Edward Grimley to the property in their concise statement ought to be conducted in properly formulated proceedings. Okay? Except that at present the court receivers have no authority to institute such proceedings for or on behalf of any individual investors, except that to the extent the court receivers determine that in exercise the powers be granted to them by the orders of this court, they seek to displace Mr. and Mrs. Grimley from their present occupation of the property or to challenge the existence of any proprietary interest in the property, then such ought to take place in proceedings commenced by them as plaintiffs. Observe that before such proceedings are commenced, the court receivers are to obtain directions from the court pursuant to paragraph 6 of the orders made on 21st of November 2021. The court receivers do not admit, but at present have no reason to doubt the truth of the matters. They admit they do not, for the basis, come into their possession. Okay. So the court receivers, having now received the concise statement and documentary material relied upon by the Grimleys, support of those claims, do not accept that there are material establishes the existence of a life estate as opposed to a mere right to occupy the property. Deny the existence of such a right to occupy precludes the immediate sale of the property. Do not accept that the matters establish the existence of the 37.37% proprietary interest in the property. Intend to conduct investigations by seeking to conduct public examinations of third parties and potentially Mr. and Mrs. Grimley so as to enable them to form a view as to existence and validity of claims. So the receivers are saying they've found no documentation in all of the information that they've received in respect to the Grimleys and their deal with their daughter, that there was anything ever in place. Now, here's what they're saying. For the reasons, they do not presently intend to apply to displace Mr. and Mrs. Grimley from their occupation of the property, and they seek orders from the court authorising the commencement of proceedings in relation to the property, but may do so after completing investigations and preparing a statement of claim for approval of the court. So the receivers are not going to pursue the fact that her parents leave the house immediately. They'd like to do further examinations, and they would like they'd like the decision to be made by the court, from what I can understand from this. So that is good for the parents. The parents now know that they've got a little bit more time. Now, here is their response to Mr. Coletti. Remember, Mr. Coletti said that he wanted a stake. In response to a concise statement filed by Anthony Coletti, the receivers responds as follows. If Mrs. Melissa Caddick is deceased, there is no jurisdiction for Section 79 of the Family Law Act being the sole basis for which Anthony Coletti asserts his entitlement to assets of Melissa Caddick. And if she's not deceased, and noting that Section 90 AD of the Family Law Act extends the definition of property to include debt owed by a party to a marriage, there will be no property capable of being subject of a alteration in interest in Anthony Coletti's favour, due to the significant debts owed by Melissa Caddick, presently estimated to be in the excess of $23 million. So, let's look at the Family Law Act. Or was it 1979? 1975. Okay, so let's look at Section 79. Let's look at Section 79, the Family Law Act. So we scroll down here. 79. I'll tell you what, there's lots of acts I've discovered. Section 79. Oh, look at this. There's a few of them. 79. In property proceedings, the court may make orders as it considers appropriate in the case of proceedings with respect to property of the parties to the marriage of either of them, altering interests of the parties to the marriage or the property. In the case of proceedings with respect to vested bankruptcy. All right, let's have a look. Did it say any other? Did it tell us any other part of 79? Just said 79. The other one says 90 AD. So this is what they're relying on, Section 79, property interests. Talking about marriage. There'll be something in here about death as well. So it's a big, so that's what they're relying on. So they're saying that if she's alive, then Section 79 has no bearing. But if she's dead, Section 90 AD, for the purposes of this part, a debt owed by a party to a marriage is treated as property for the purposes of paragraph. So if he's married, if she's dead, her debt is his debt. All right. So federal court rules on missing covert Heights home. So it says missing conwoman Melissa Caddick's husband has been told he will need to vacate his late wife's multi-million-dollar home in a matter of weeks as liquidators seek to pay back some of his wife's stolen millions. Federal Court Justice Bridget Markovic on Tuesday ruled Anthony Coletti, who married the fraudster in 2013, must vacate the $15 million Dover Heights mansion on or before May 18. Anthony Coletti will be granted liberty to apply on 2 days' written notice in respect to any dispute regarding the removal of personal property from the Dover Heights property. The home will be sold as Miss Caddick's extensive assets continue to be seized by ASIC to pay back some of the $23 million she stole from investors. Mr. Coletti isn't accused of any wrongdoing in relation to his wife's or disappearance. So apparently it's a $15 million home, so if you've got a spare $15 million, you can buy the home. Mrs. Caddick disappeared the day after ASIC and the New South Wales Police raided her home, so we know she appropriated funds. So they're saying that there are 74 investors. Federal court ruling comes 2 weeks after Mr. Coletti submitted a statement demanding he be given his missing wife's fine art collection, diamond jewelry, and Gucci wedding dress. In a statement submitted to the court, Mr. Coletti claims his financial contribution to the household, along with his wife, being between 2017 and 2020, such as performing duties as a homemaker and caring for his wife's son, meant he was entitled to some of the assets. He's seeking a cut from the estate of the $15 to $17 million Dover Heights home, the 3-bedroom apartment in Edgecliff worth about $4 million, various luxury cars already sold for $360,000 and $7 million in shares. He's also seeking ownerships of the 5 paintings, her wedding dress, and diamond rings. So he's still trying to get money. She bought the Dover Heights mansion for $6.2 million in 2014 using money she misappropriated. We know that we've only got her foot. So they're going back to court in September. So yes, so he wants money. He wants a part of that money. So that's Mr. Coletti today. So it's very, very, very interesting that now he's got to move out of his house. He's got to move out of the house, and he's going to have to. I don't know what he's going to do. He's got no Audi. He's now lost his mansion, and he still maintains his wife's innocence. So there you go. I guess. So anyway, so that was a decision. So the actual judgment hasn't been released yet, but we'll just check it. But those statements were up. So let's look at the list of orders. We'll just have a check. Oh, it's here. Yes. Gee, oh, it's here. All right, let's have a look. All right, 3rd of May. By consent between the applicants and the third defendant, Anthony Coletti, and subject to the applicant seeking and obtaining directions in accordance with the Orders 6 of the Orders, Anthony Coletti is to deliver up and vacate the Dover Heights property on or before the 18th of May. The applicants and Anthony Coletti be granted 2 days written notice in respect to any dispute. The applicant's interlocutory application filed on the 4th of April be stood over for case management between the 19th of September at 9:30 a.m. So by consent between the applicants and the interested parties, so this is the Grimleys, this is her parents, that by the 10th of May, the applicants are to provide to solicitors for Barbara and Edward Grimley a list of documents and or information that they seek from them. The proceeding to be listed for case management hearing on the 19th of September at 9:30, liberty to restore in 2 days' notice, cost reserves. So we know the Grimleys are going to probably be safe until at least September. They're not going to do anything with their property. But Anthony Coletti is needing to leave. So there you go. I guess it's good news for her parents. They're the people that I feel sorry for. But so now they have to actually prove now that they have an interest that, they now have to prove some of the stuff that they believe or they were told, whether that's correspondence or whatever, that it was all sorted out. Anyway, so that is the latest on the Melissa Caddick saga. We still don't know where she is. She's still disappearing, but we've got her, her assets are slowly being paid back. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you feel sorry for her husband that he's now going to move out of the mansion and he's lost his car? Do you feel sorry for the parents? Do you think that selling all the property is the right thing to do? Do you think they'll get all the money back? I'm interested to hear what you've got to say. I look forward to catching up with you again later. So until next time, bye for now.